A list of the topics, themes, and subject matter featured in this episode has been included in the episode description.
Hi, I'm Kenny, the DM for Fables of Frost and Fur, and I am joined by my amazing cast.
Kaylee.
Carmen.
Matt,
what can our listeners expect from the penultimate episode of Season 1?
suspicions confirmed, secrets revealed, and decisions made.
And those decisions will reverberate for the rest of this campaign. Now, without further ado, please enjoy the show. Previously on Fables of Frost and Fur, expecting a meeting with the Dream Mother, Poppy was disappointed to find that her dreams led her to Ardent. He confirmed what the Watchers believed as their prophecy, that by kissing him, Poppy could lift the Sangi curse, returning all Maudit and possibly all Beastkin to human form. Ardent promised that should Poppy do so, he would wage war against Queen Inga and try to topple her queendom. Poppy returned with this news to Harlan and Vianne, and the three of them spoke to the Deerkin Dream Speaker, who revealed that over the years she had stolen a peek at the Dream Mother, who appeared to her as a red fox with dark tendrils for a tail, the same visage that the mirrors showed as being responsible for Poppy's transformation. Desperate to find out more, the party devised a plan to confirm its identity. Poppy used her ability to peer into the wondrous sea, hoping to find the red fox, but found only the white nine-tailed fox. The white fox revealed to Poppy that she was the last girl to transform from human to beastkin, and that she is now dead. Vianne gazed into the dream speaker's mind as the deerkin slept and dreamt, and saw herself standing face to face with the red fox. Dreading the truth, Vianne asked Harlan to remove her ring of mind shielding. Her fears were confirmed when the red fox spoke in the same voice that had been inside Vianne's head for 30 years. Vianne's patron is responsible for Poppy's transformation. Kaylee, make a wisdom saving throw. The DC is 23.
Oh my gosh.
13 on the die plus 3, only 16.
Vianne takes 45 psychic damage.
Oh! Holy shit.
As both the red fox and to Harlan, Didi, the dream speaker, says, "Well now, you've made me very angry, little kit. How dare you? I have been your best friend for 30 years. I have given you gifts. I have given you all the delicious things your pathetic world has to offer. And you dare shut me out? It's okay. I forgive you. That is, if you just return to me, and you do exactly as I tell you. You've made it this far, and all I've ever told you is to bring the girl south. And you've done so. And you're so close. So close. Just a little more, little kit. And it'll all be over. So, I'm going to offer you a deal, just like the one we made 30 years ago. You keep the ring off. And you listen to this sweet little deer. And she will get you to the gates of Artois. You put on the 3 rings that I so generously gave you. And then you will walk him. And then the girl will meet the king. And when she does so, you are going to make sure that she kisses him. Barring that, I understand that these young ones are so fickle. If she refuses, I want you to find a way to make him vulnerable. And when he is, you will slit his throat. Is that clear enough for you, little kid? If you are willing to do this for me, I will answer for you right now. One question. Whatever you'd like to know. Do we have a deal?
I can't. And as every breath grows harder to keep in her lungs, as every word of his hateful, mocking voice pierces deep at her soul, Vianne begins to die.
The second Harlan hears these words leave the dream speaker's mouth, he notices a horrific spasm in Vianne as she momentarily stops breathing.
That looks like a clear signal as any. And Harlan takes the ring of mind shielding and puts it back onto Vianne's finger.
Matt, I want you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
The DC for this is 10.
Oh boy. I will use my heroic inspiration. There was a 6, and the second one, after using heroic inspiration, was a 2.
No.
As he tries to slip the ring back onto Vianne's finger, he hears a loud crash and the breaking of glass. The bird with too many eyes flies in and it swoops and grabs the ring in between its disgusting little beak, and it flies high up into the ceiling, floating just out of reach of Harlan.
Dungeon Master, would you like a death saving throw?
I would.
That's a 10. Barely hanging on.
Right. Alright. Playing this game of keep away? Keep away from this. And he pulls out his pistol and fires.
Matt, give me an attack roll.
13 plus 7 minus 4 for a 16 to hit.
A 16 hits as the shot rings out in this small room. Time slows. It's the magic bullet made of pure mist of the wondrous sea solidified. Like a spear flying through the night, pierces the familiar through the chest. It dissipates with a deafening squawk, and the ring falls onto the floor. The dream speaker awakes. She screams, What was that? What happened?
Everything's all right. Just be calm.
At this moment, Vianne ceases to see the grinning red fox, and instead she opens her eyes, staring straight up at the ceiling of this infirmary, overgrown with vines and kudzu, across beautiful, painted marble ceiling. But she still hears him. Tick-tock, little kids. Do we have a deal?
I can't.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I would like to use my bonus action to try to lay on hands.
Matt,
I know.
I want you to give me a constitution saving throw. The DC for this is 15.
2. Minus 4.
Oh my god.
As he reaches his hands out and grabs Vianne's shoulder and tries to channel that cool, soothing mist that saved and revitalized Poppy before, he sees in his mind for a brief instant a frozen lake, clear as day, and a black wolf chains, and the chains dig into its fur, and it bleeds and it cries out, and the power fails Because that Constitution saving throw failed by so much, Harlan takes another point of exhaustion. He now has 3 points of exhaustion.
Right. Then there's that wisdom saving throw, I suppose.
Vian's body and mind are beginning to separate, and as Harlan's laying his hands on her, with that cooling, healing energy, he feels the sharp bite of acid on his skin. That's only a 14 on the die. 17 in total on the wisdom throw.
Vian hears the voice louder than she has ever heard it in her entire life.
Take the deal.
She takes 28 points of damage.
Okay, that's not death outright, but that's really close. Okay. That voice seems to attack at something precious. Inside Vian, she feels like she is losing something she will never get back. That is 1 death failure and 1 success. And she replies, I won't.
Harlan sees Vian's spasm again, blood coming out of her mouth, and runs to get the ring the bird dropped. And, as quick as he possibly can, puts it back onto her finger.
With the familiar gone, and Dee Dee confused and on her knees at the far end of the room, Harlan successfully puts the ring of mind shielding back onto Vian. Vian, once more, savors the sound of silence.
Dee, go get a healer right now. A healer. We need a healer.
Yes, right away. And she bursts through the door and sprints down the hallway.
Harlan is going to try to stabilize Vian through mundane means. It's not something he's very skilled at, but he knows he has to try something.
Absolutely. Give me a medicine check.
That is a 6 plus 2 minus 6 for a 2.
Harlan places both of his hands on Vian, unsure of what to do as there's no visible wound, but her eyes are shut and her body won't stop shaking.
I think you need another death saving throw.
Yes, I do.
That is a 13. We're at 2 successes and 1 failure.
Come on, stay with me. Stay with me.
You can see that Vian is fighting with more than what she has. She is fighting with borrowed energy, borrowed time that she will have to give back, but she is struggling.
Harlan sees her struggling on the floor and runs to his bag and starts tearing through it, looking for anything that might help.
He rummages through his bag, not the hidden part that's sealed away by the Queen's magic, but through just the bag itself, and by some miracle, Harlan finds a healer's kit.
All right. And going through this vast catalog of memories, he goes back to a moment so similar to this one. Not thinking about it. His hands do the right thing. Go through the right motions. And he stabilizes Vian using the kit.
Harlan. Oh. Harlan barely has any strength of his own, but he rolls Vian onto her side and cradles her, rocking her with every sob. Everyone's afraid of death, right? But the patron is an artist with his pain, and the abstract fear of the unknown doesn't hurt as much as old traumas. Life is so much more creative than death. Vian is alive, but she is so deeply wounded.
5 beastkin come sprinting into the infirmary, one of whom is a large deerkin man, the same one you saw earlier, his face full of concern. And the 5 of them sprint up to Vian, and getting on their knees, they place their hands on her, and all 5 of them cast Healing Touch. turn back to just a few moments before this, to a beautiful bedroom, wonderfully decorated and meticulously well kept, ancient in its design and its craft. And we center in to a large four-poster bed and a human girl sitting on it as she looks out into the wondrous sea, staring at a gorgeous white fox with 9 tails.
A single tear rolls down Poppy's cheek as she stares into, for all intents and purposes, the eyes of her predecessor. And there is so much sadness and anguish and sympathy for this being in front of her. You were just like me then. Why? Why? How? I don't understand. How did he pick you? How did he pick me? Is there anything?
There's nothing.
Poppy falls to her knees. Laughter, despite everything. But it quickly convulses into sobs. Maybe in the back of her mind she always knew there was no reason that this was her. It could have been anyone. But isn't it just her luck that it was her? So what? What's his plan? What's his twisted game? We're no messiah, you just proved it.
He needs you, Poppy. Did you ever stop to wonder why he didn't just pick a beastkin?
What does he need me for?
Because you're human. Only a human may lift the curse.
Why does he want it lifted?
He wants to be in our world, Poppy. He is sick of the nothingness that is the wondrous sea, and he craves his freedom.
And breaking this curse frees him?
No, releasing a god soul does. If the curse is lifted, the Sun King is free from his castle and restored to full power. He knows that the Sun King will seek his vengeance on the Snow Queen, and he cares not which of them die. Only that when one of their god souls returns to the wondrous sea, can he safely cross over to the material world.
Why are you here?
Because I was alone, Poppy, and I failed. I had no one. And I ran, and I learned as fast as I could, but they caught me eventually. And the Rhyme Wardens, for all of their faults, they were quick, and they were merciful. They will find you if you don't go to Artois and do what he says. This is your chance, Poppy. You can lift the curse. There will be no beastkin anymore, yourself included. You can return to your life.
I'll lift this curse and a new one falls upon the land. That's not salvation. That's dooming everyone.
But you could save yourself, Poppy. You could succeed where I failed. You could live.
No. No, I don't think I want to live in that.
The fox lays down low and meets Poppy in the eye. And Poppy can see tears well up in this creature's eyes. If that happens, Poppy, and you return to the wondrous sea, will you stay with me? Be my friend? Please?
Both of Poppy's hands reach out to cup the fur on her head. I will. I'll be back for you, one way or the other. And she slams her eyes shut.
When Poppy opens her eyes again, she finds herself staring through large, clear windows and she can see the full moon shining bright into this bedroom. And then she hears a gunshot.
Without waiting, she takes off and retraces her steps back to the infirmary.
As she sprints to the infirmary, she finds a group of beastkin yelling over a body. And as she runs up, she sees Uncle Harlan and his face tired.
What happened? Did they do this?
No, they didn't.
What's Veering?
Come here. She's alright. You're alright, right? As he is cradling Vianne with her head in his lap, stroking her hair. You're alright. Not gonna let anything happen to you.
With more force than perhaps necessary, Poppy shoves away any of the beastkin currently working on Vianne. And with firm, but still gentle hands, light green energy pulses out of her palms into Vianne's body as she casts Cure Wounds on her.
With that last spell, Vianne has returned to full health, but she is exhausted.
Poppy, I'm so sorry. Poppy, I would die before I hurt you, Poppy. I would die before I hurt you.
The large deerkin man reads the room and takes all the beastkin and escorts them out, closing the doors and locking them behind him.
Vianne, it's okay. What? You don't have to talk right now. It's okay. Poppy buries her face in the crook of Vianne's neck and hugs her as tightly as she can.
The fur is soaked through with tears and sweat. All of Vianne's beauty has just been dragged through the mud. She is a shivering shadow of what she once was, but she is proud of this moment, of this choice. And she reaches towards Harlan who is killing himself. And she looks at Poppy. You mustn't give him what he wants.
You saw him.
I felt him in every hair on my body. He wants to make the world hurt. I don't know why. He wants you to lift the curse. I don't know. I don't know.
There's something in that betrayal in Vianne's voice, in the hurt in her tone, that tells Poppy all that she needs to know about who the evil, menacing fox was. It's been him all along, hasn't it?
How long? How long has it been him?
Harlan encircles both of them in his arms. Alright. Yeah. That's something we're gonna have to figure out.
And Poppy's voice is muffled from the hug, from being shoved in close. But there's a shake to her body as she speaks. It's been him since the first girl. And it'll be him again after me. He wants out of the Wonder Sea.
First girl?
The Lunel case?
What?
There was another Poppy. The Rhyme Wardens. I wasn't part of it, but we all heard. That's how I knew. That's how I knew we had to get out.
This has happened before?
I don't know how many times before. Look,
Then it's going to happen again.
it's not.
Do you understand that he's going to kill us all and then he's going to try it again? There's never going to be any rest.
No. No, I do not accept that. And neither are you. We're not accepting that.
Harlan, I think the only thing we can do is die.
And he just squeezes her further into the hug. No. No dying. Not for us. We I'm going to find a way. It ends with us.
Harlan, what happened to you? Where's the color in your eyes, Harlan? What have you done?
It's all right. I pushed myself a little bit.
It's not alright. She's killing you. He's killing you. It's our only option, not with Ardon.
Ian pulls herself up, and she struggles to stand. It takes every bit of defiance that she has to bring herself upright, and then she holds out her hands to Harlan to help him up, and finds that he is weak. He's light.
I haven't told you this, but I see her. I see the black she-wolf, the one from the vision in the tree. There are chains around her. She's trying to protect me, but the chains are keeping her from doing it. I need to find a way to break those chains.
Yes, you do.
There, on a lake, frozen lake. I don't know if it's part of the Wondrous Sea or if it's somewhere else. I don't know. Do you think you could? Do you think you could look for her?
I can try, but not tonight.
All right. That's enough of that. Let's... Next thing's next, right? We need to talk to that young man with the antlers.
I think we need to tell them that their dream mother is fake and that I am not their messiah.
We'll start with him. I think he's the one that's the most ready to hear it.
I'll go get him. Just stay put.
Harlan is about to protest, but he actually gratefully sits down on the bed. All right.
Tearing her eyes away from the two of them with a lot of difficulty, she makes her way back to the door.
She opens the wooden double doors. She finds an empty hallway. And she takes a few steps out into what looks to be a center courtyard. And standing in the courtyard is the dream speaker and the Deerkin man, speaking in hushed, harsh whispers amongst each other. They see Poppy, and they immediately stop and turn to look at her. The man doesn't move, but the dream speaker sprints up to Poppy. Lilu, I don't know what happened. I did exactly as Madame Vienne told me, and then I heard a loud bang, and then she was... I'm so sorry. Lilu, I'm so sorry. I failed you. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's so much sympathy in Poppy's eyes. How tragic it must be to devote your whole life to a fraud. Can I speak with him, please?
What?
You did nothing wrong. And I think maybe a real rest would do you good.
Is this a command from Lilu?
This is a suggestion from a worried friend.
You hear heavy footsteps behind you. You heard her, Emily. Do as she says. Go get some sleep. All right. Please, Lilu, if there's anything, please wake me. Or call for me. I will come running. And she backs away slowly, her eyes fixed on Poppy, until she turns the corner and disappears. The man behind you shouts out, I can smell you, Emily. She means it. Go get some sleep. And some shuffling is heard. And then the sounds of the forest fill the air as the moonlight shines on Poppy and Corbin.
For a moment, she just basks in the symphony of whooshing leaves, snapping of twigs. That's always been home to her. But she whirls on the man and offers a handout. Poppy.
The man looks at Poppy long and hard, his eyes squinting. And then he cracks a smirk. He shakes Poppy's hand. Yeah, You're alright, you know that?
Can I steal you for a little bit?
Everyone else is away. You can speak to me right here.
In the room, if you don't mind. And without waiting, she pulls her hand away and begins walking back to the infirmary.
The man follows, and as you open the double doors, you find that this room looks darker than you left it. As clouds begin to cover the moonlight, the Deerkin man closes the door behind you, a resounding thud, as he shuts it and locks it.
Not sure if you're familiar. This is my Uncle Harlan. Madame Bien.
Pleasure.
What power do you have in this place, monsieur?
What power do I have? He places his hands in his pocket. Well, for the most part, they listen to me. For the most part. But some of the more fanatical ones, like Emily or Dream Speaker, whatever she wants to be called nowadays, they're a little harder to, they're a little harder. But most of them listen to me, yeah. Listen, for what it's worth, I don't think you're bad people. Really, I don't. But you have to understand where I'm coming from. These are my people. I have to protect them. And I can't protect them if they run off on their little crusade, going, gods know, wherever it is that you three have to go. No offense. Again, I'm sure you're good people, but I have to protect my own kin. You understand?
Oh, I understand that.
Now, if you tell them to go march off a cliff, they'll do it in a heartbeat without thinking about it. So please, don't tell them to do something stupid.
Well, there are several options we have here, and I don't know if any of them are smart, but some of them are true. You strike me as someone who's ready to hear the truth.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The thing we need to tell you is dangerous, monsieur.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the thing that your people are willing to walk off a cliff for, it's not what they think it is.
What is it?
A corruption. A blight at the center of the world's magic. One that seeks to be part of ours. Your dream mother. How long has this church stood here, worshipping falsehoods?
I don't know what you're talking about, love. What do you mean, falsehoods?
That lovely lady in the chapel. That's not who's answering the dream speaker's questions.
Oh, shit. Shh. Don't speak too loudly about it. I don't want to know what it is. I want you to tell me what I need to do to get you out of here. And to get you, he points at Poppy, out of their minds.
The first part we can do mostly on our own. The second part...
Alright, listen. Where are you going?
I don't know if we've planned that far ahead.
Right. I'm going to be perfectly honest. We've got some old magic here at the sanctuary. And only a few people know how to use it, and it's dangerous, but it will get you out of here. And right at the footsteps of Artois. It's been handed down to us through the generations, and it will get you there in the blink of an eye. And I would love for you to all go there as soon as possible and give some excuse to Emily. I don't know, tell her the dream mother spoke to you or something, I don't know, saying that you had to go by yourselves and take this path in particular, and the rest of us have to wait. Just tell them anything but the truth, yeah?
Corbin, is there any magic in this place that is older than the curse?
Yeah. It's the teleportation circles. That's where I want you to go.
Then it may not yet be infected.
I'm sorry, what now? You know what? I don't want to know. I really don't.
All right. Your idea is good. You're gonna show us this teleportation circle, and Leilu is going to tell the people what they need to hear right now.
Right now? You want me to wake up the entire sanctuary?
Well, no, yeah. I know people are asleep right now. Maybe we can wake Emily was her name.
Yeah.
A couple important people that they'll trust.
Yeah, that would be her. You want me to fetch her?
Yeah, I think the sooner we get going, the better. We can.
Oi. Do me a favor, yeah? Let her down easy, please.
Right.
Say whatever it is you need to, just please don't break her heart. And at this, he turns and he opens the doors and he walks out, leaving them slightly ajar.
Right. Leilu, the voices said it is a matter of urgency that we depart now. Yeah. Sorry, could you help me up?
Of course.
Sorry.
And Poppy moves to his other side.
Alfie.
I'll go get him.
Please, thank you.
And Vianne runs out and past the courtyard and through the gates. And she sees, tied to a simple post just outside the chateau, a simple, mundane, and quite upset horse.
Alfie. You know something is wrong with him, don't you?
The horse nuzzles into Vianne's hand.
Okay, you need to come with us, boy. You need to keep him safe.
And at this, the horse nods, moves a little in place excitedly, and then starts to bite at the rope that ties him to the post.
Vianne doesn't have the hands for knots. She takes out a dagger and cuts the rope. And she leads Alfie back, grateful to have something that she can do that is just one foot in front of the other.
She makes her way back through the courtyard, where she can hear the concerned voices of several people, but most noticeably that of Didi. I don't understand. Did I do something wrong? We ought to be your chosen. We ought to go with you. I thought we were to march with you.
You have helped so much, but I need to do this alone.
Yeah, you heard her. She's got to leave right now, without waking anyone else. Isn't that right, Leilu?
There's a moment where Poppy thinks, this must have been what Uncle Harlan thought when I couldn't lie to save my damn life in that small tavern in Metz. But she barely spares him a glance as she grabs Emily's hands and gives them one kiss.
Yes, I'm sorry, it's not about me. It's what must be done. Yes, Corbin, you have to help me with the ritual. Yeah, if you tell me what to do, sure. And at this, she turns to the three of you and says, right this way, past the courtyard. There's an ancient room. Come. And she leads the four of you out. And then she spots Alfie. Oh, him too.
Well, my uncle still isn't feeling very well, and I don't think he can make the journey himself.
All right. It's just that the circle is not very... We'll make it work. Yes, we'll make it work. She hurriedly grabs his reins and walks you across the courtyard and through another hallway to an older part of the chateau. Here the vines grow much, much thicker, almost to the point where you didn't even recognize that there was a door. It's completely covered in moss and vines. And as the dream speaker approaches, she draws a knife and has to work her way through until Corbin unceremoniously kicks the door open. Must you? She says she was in a hurry. I don't know what to tell you. Inside this room are beautiful, ornate windows This room has many pieces of furniture that are beautifully, beautifully carved. And many of them have objects on them that none of you recognize. Things that seem arcane and ancient and old, and that have been cleaned but not really touched. Mostly out of fear, it seems. And as the dream speaker leads the four of you and Alfie towards the center, you look down at the ground and you can see etched onto the granite floor here old runes in the language of the ancients. And at the center, a little bowl. Yes, this is a teleportation circle. It is a magic that is not very common anymore, mostly because it's so dangerous. To use it, one must activate the runes around the circle, and then it leads them to wherever the other end of the portal is. In doing so, you shall pass through the wondrous sea. It shouldn't last very long, but once we activate the circle, there is a chance that things hear the call. If we do this quick enough, and with Corbin here to protect us, I have confidence that we should be able to do this. If you wish to leave right now, Lilu.
I do.
Very well then. Tears start to well up in her eyes as she takes one step forward to Poppy. Did I do well?
You did amazing. And no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that you guys are all safe.
Thank you. Thank you, Lilu. She steps to the far end of the room and she holds out her hand. Please, into the circle. As you step into the circle, Corbin stands by the door, and from out of his coat, he draws 2 swords, curved and wicked, and he stands with them at his side and he nods. The dream speaker, Emily, tears in her eyes, starts chanting in the language of the ancients, and as she does so, the runes inscribed on this floor glow a brilliant blue, their light illuminating your faces. The ground begins to rumble, and you feel lighter as Poppy, Harlan, Vianne, and Alfie begin to glow with light blue outlines. And in a moment, just before they see nothingness, they see a purple portal open beside Corbin. Out of it, the face of a horrific monster appears and is met immediately with Corbin's sword as he decapitates the creature. And it turns to nothing but water. Tears in her eyes now. The dream speaker reaches out her hands and stops chanting. Your vision blacks out. You hear the sound of rushing winds and of crushing waves. As you dare not open your eyes, your body feels like it's been buffeted by a torrential rainstorm. As you can hear nothing and you feel your body being torn at its edges, being frayed from its very existence. Then suddenly, it stops, and you hear the gentle singing of birds, and the rustling of leaves, the gentle lapping of water. You open your eyes, and you find yourself at the edge of a lake that none of you have ever been to, but looks so familiar. As you get up off the ground, and you look at each other, all 3 of you, and Alfie, are in one piece.
Poppy, the rings.
Do we need them now? Do we?
Oh, I have absolutely no idea where we are, Poppy. It's too dark to tell. But something about it feels familiar, doesn't it?
I was thinking this lake looks like something from a dream.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I think your wolf might be here.
Maybe. And he weakly leans against Alfie. Maybe.
The three of you gaze around this lake, taking in the surroundings. All three of you can see something glowing faintly at the bottom of this lake.
Feeling rejuvenated by the short rest, but certainly seeing that her uncle does not share those same sentiments, Poppy is feeling desperate and sitting beside him, clutching her hand in his. She closes her eyes and peers into the wondrous sea in the exact location that she sees the glowing object.
Poppy opens her eyes. Although she doesn't feel it, she finds herself in the middle of the most vicious storm she has ever seen. As the waters rise and crash, 10-foot waves around her, and clouds above her are pouring rain. Where the lake would be, she finds a bit of an eye of a storm. And in the center, she finds a glowing mass too bright for her to look directly into.
Poppy shields her eyes away, lifting one hand to cover as the other reaches out towards the glow.
She does so, but nothing happens. The glowing mass is still several dozen feet away from her and below her. She stands at the edge of the lake, and in the material plane she can feel the water start to seep into her boots just a bit as she gets closer and closer to the glow. This mass, wherever it is in the material plane, is in the water underneath.
She gives her uncle's hand a squeeze, and with a familiar, distant look in her eyes that both Vienne and Harlan have seen before, she takes off running to the water.
Feet splashing at the shores of this lake, and then soon to her calves, and then to her waist, and soon she has to swim.
And swim she does, until she gets closer and closer to that glow.
And she sticks her head underneath the water and makes her way down, down, down. She finds it just sitting there between two pieces of driftwood. And she grabs it and she swims back up to the surface. As Harlan and Vienne look on, she makes her way back to the shoreline, soaking wet. And when she finally gets to them, she raises the object in her hand, and it is made of solid stone in the shape of a human heart. And that is where we end our session.
Wow. Yeah.
Goodness.
Okay, so
You really started this one out by straight up trying to murder Vienne.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Killing
40
her.
what?
Killing her.
So much.
45?
45. I don't think I'll forget that.
that was 11d6.
Oh my gosh.
Ouch.
Jeez.
That's such a high roll on 11d6. Because that average is 35?
Oh,
33.
Yeah,
33.
33, right?
3.5 times 11. So that would be...
Yeah. So yeah, it's
y'all are so good at math. I just heard that number and I was like, oh, that number's bigger than my number.
Warp, 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 warp.
yeah. No, that was
Whoa.
that was a lot.
Was
Oh my god. Yeah, those
That
were
was
like real
so
tears, man.
scary. That
I
was
was
so
just like-
scary.
Shit.
I saw you rolling for the second round of damage, and your face, Kenny, was just like, oh boy.
Trust the dice.
I'm going to be honest. Obviously, there was a fairly good chance that second one would have killed Vienne.
Uh-huh.
And then Vienne refused again. And then I said, oh, fuck. Okay, we respect the dice. And then Matt was like, well, she's convulsing. I'm like, yeah, she's convulsing. He's like, all right, put the ring back on. I'm like, you guys forgot about a certain someone. When you take off that ring, the bird can see you too. So the bird came a-flying. and it went straight for the ring.
If I was gonna make one roll, I'm glad it was the roll to shoot the freaking bird.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad
me
you
too.
murked that bird. I've never wanted to
Absolutely.
kill a familiar more. Like, I was so excited about getting that spell, you guys. I was like, sick. New rules, 2024. Find familiar. Let's go. And then Kenny cursed us with this icky, eyebally.
It's
wet.
for the narrative. I'm sorry. I know it's not fair, but it's for the narrative. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. If he missed that shot. If you liked the sneak peek, you can find the rest of this post-session chat and much more on our Patreon. Also, if you'd like to interact with myself or our fabulous cast, or just chat with fellow fans, please join our Discord. Links to both are included in the description. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.